Claudia H. Brady, and we're just gonna allow a couple seconds here, if not a minute or two, to allow people to start coming in. I did want to let you know that this is my home, this is my living room, so you might hear a couple noises here and there, as well as we'll have some light music going on. We're just getting connected on Facebook Live, so give us just a second and we'll get right started.
No.
You're the one who helped me look for it yesterday. Please help me do so now. Well, it looks like Facebook is being just a little complicated, but it's okay because we have YouTube going on. So if you're on Facebook, just make sure to go to the ticket section area, and it'll just take you straight to the website that will be streaming this. As well as hopefully we'll have this up and running by the end of today, if not tomorrow. This is going to happen every Monday through Friday, 9:45 to 10:45. A little bit about myself before we get started. My name is, once again, Claudia H. Brady. I am a yoga instructor. I know a few different formats, but today we will be practicing Vinyasa flow. We're going to get started with a very gentle flow in mindful mornings. So make sure that all the space that you are around is quiet and that you're able to focus for the next 55 minutes. With that being said, I'd like to welcome those who are newer to the yoga practice. Do not be scared. Go along as best as you can. I will be facing that direction or this direction so that you can see my alignment, and try to copy as you go along. Not to worry or fret. This is a compassionate flow today, so we will be taking it quite slow, and then we'll find our way at one breath per movement. We're going to get started in a very popular pose. In a seated pose. Find yourself to seat on your shins, tops of the feet pressed into the mat. Or you can find yourself to root down through your sitting bones, crisscross applesauce, lotus, or basically any pose here that helps you. Come into space. Now I'm going to ask you to allow your eyelids to grow heavy. Allow those eyes to close. Allow the environment around you to slowly dissipate and disappear. We're just going to allow ourselves to take breaths where we are, to sit where we are. Allowing those palms to release on top of the knees, palms pressed down for grounding, or palms pressed up for receiving. We're going to take 5 breaths in completion wherever you are. Just allow your belly to expand and grow full inhale through the nose. And allow the mouth to go wide. Jaw releases. Exhale. Let it go. 4 more breaths just like that. Find your own space, your own depth. Maybe it's only 3, count long. And exhale, try to match the depth and the length. Let it go. 2 more breaths just like that, full inhale. again. And once you're ready to exhale, allow your jaw to come wide, stick out your tongue. Lion's breath. Slowly pull those shoulders up towards your ears and peel them back as you feel the shoulder blades hugging in towards one another. Do that motion a couple more times, allowing your eyesight to remain still. If your eyes are open, please find one place of focus. Nothing else matters. This space can be something as big as yourself in the reflection, or as small as a dot in the wall in front of you. Now reverse the motion, allowing those shoulders to hug towards one another, and then bringing those shoulders up towards the ears and releasing, allowing those shoulders to melt forward. The arms can find their space, still to remain on top of the knees or to fall wide to the side. Once you're ready, inhale, arms reach up overhead. We're just finding length here. Exhale, palms face the outer walls. Allow those hands to slowly and with your space, allow them to come right next to your hips. Legs will grow long, eyes still remain closed. Give your toes a couple press towards the front mirror. And as you exhale, feel those heels press through towards the front mirror. Once you are ready, allow the palms to ground down, allowing the mid-back to release onto the mat. Upper back. And once your upper back is on the mat, arms reach up towards the sky. Once your shoulders release down on the mat, arms come wide towards the side. Now lift those toes and pressing through the heels, find length towards your mat. Allowing ourselves to remain in dead man pose for only 1 minute here. The only movement that is created here is as your belly grows long and full for the inhale. And as you exhale, pull that navel up and back towards the spine. Now we're going to go ahead and shut our lips here, finding stillness. Our breathing will be through our nose, and our exhale will be through our nose as well. Full inhale, 5 whole breaths. Full exhale, pull that navel up and back. Full inhale for 4. Pause at the very top of your breath, and once you're ready to exhale, pull the navel up and back. Can we inhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, pause. Exhale. Pause. Full inhale. Pause. Full exhale. Pause. 2 more. Last one will be your lion's breath. Full inhale. Lion's breath, wide jaw, stick out your tongue. Our next inhale, we're going to invite movement starting in our extremities. Flex your toes, create circles with your heels, with your hands. Exhale, let it go. Next inhale, all ends reach towards all ends of the room. Maybe so much that it has peeled up off the mat. and only your torso is there. Once you're ready to exhale, hug in the knees, tuck in your chin, reach for 2 inches below the knee. If your shoulders have come off the mat, seriously, and just very slowly ground them down to the mat, inviting those knees to hug in towards the chest. Allowing movement, creating your hips to go side to side. Maybe your weight rotates. Allow this movement to increase in motion as you find yourself either on your right or your left side of the body. Allow your body to choose. And once you're there, using your bicep as a pillow, knees remain hugged in, heels towards the glutes. Allow yourself in to take one full breath in here. Exhale, wide jaw, side out. On our next inhale, with our opposite hand, we're going to press our way into a seated position. Any seated position works. It does not matter which way you are facing. Try to challenge yourself and keep your eyes closed at this moment. Don't worry, no one is looking. It's only you and your mat. Allowing any movement to happen that needs to happen. Find yourself into a seated crisscross applesauce motion. Inhale, arms reach towards the sides. Arms reach up towards the sky. The right hand presses into the left as we feel that equal push and pull, finding our hands right at heart chest, heart center. Now go ahead and blink those eyes to open as you tuck in your chin to take a peek to your middle finger. Here we will set an intention for today's class. What is the reason for you showing up on your mat? For me, it is to share the love of yoga during these tough times and just to allow ourselves to reside in the moment and allow all else to fade away. With that being said, inhale, arms reach up overhead. Find that full breath. This time, exhale, palms press forward, keeping a straight spine hinging at the hips. Once we find the mat in front of us, then simply inhale, rock onto your fingertips and reach forward, maybe gaining 1 centimeter. It doesn't matter if you didn't really move. It's just about finding that length. Now keep in mind that my tailbone and my sitting bones are still fully connected to the mat. Once you're ready, tuck in your chin and shake out your head. Let it go, yes or no. Please close your eyes if this motion makes you dizzy. At any moment, feel free to close your eyes and just feel the pose rather than see the pose. With that being said, inhale, half lift on your spine. This time, pressing away from the mat as we find our spine to come into an upright position, back into our sitting pose. We're going to go ahead and start moving into our sun salutations, but from there, let's find some movement in our spine, making our way into a cat and cow. Once you're ready, inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, reaching forward so much so that we rock on our knees, uncross our feet, and find our way into a tabletop position. Now this should remind us of a table. So let's make sure that we find our straight spine in this space. With that being said, if your tailbone is sticking out, go ahead and find that neutral pose for your pelvis. If your belly is dropping down or rounding up, find that length in your neckline and engage your core to find a straight spine. Now we're going to take it very slow and add one movement. Once you're ready, inhale, coming into a cow, but simply just looking up. Exhale, tuck in your chin towards the chest. We're going to add a little bit more movement. Inhale, look up, peel those shoulders back. Exhale, tuck in your chin. Allow those shoulders to melt towards your ears. Inhale, take a deep, big breath, look up, shoulders peeled back. Find that bellow in the belly. Exhale, tucking your chin. Allow those shoulders to melt back towards your ears. Find that mid-spine to reach up towards the sky as you press away from your mat. Last thing is the pelvis. Inhale, look up, shoulders back. Drop the belly, tailbone up towards the sky. Find your full cow. Exhale, tucking your chin, shoulders melt. Press away from the mat, evenly through the feet. Find movement in transition, maybe shifting your hips to the right or to the left. Shoulders can join to create figure eights. Now follow your own breath as we inhale, find cow. And as we exhale, find cat. Finding any expression through transition here. If you're newer to the practice, stick with the cat and cow. Otherwise, find a figure eight. If you did so, reverse your way around now, finding three. Full exhale. 2 more breaths. By now your breath should be at least 6 seconds. Count long. 2 more. And last one. Now returning into a neutral spine, tabletop, right leg presses back behind you. Make sure all toes are active. Even the little toe is involved here at this moment. Try to see if you can stack the heel on top of the toes or maybe press further back to engage that quad. How about reaching your hands just about 1, 2, 3 centimeters and then rolling over our toes to see what that sensation feels like. During our sun salutations, there is that option for those who are more advanced and who have been practicing for a while to roll over your toes. So here is where we find our strength and where we get the sense of what that feels like. With that being said, allowing the right knee to come down, reach the right heel towards the glute and press the right heel up towards the sky. Now we want to make sure that our knee remains in line with our hips. So if you're coming up a little bit higher, it's not so much about that. Once you're ready, right heel reaches towards the opposite glute as we stack the right hip on top of the left. We're going to allow movement here to happen as we graze the right knee down on past the left and open it up to the right side of the room. Allow yourself to experience this a couple times. Do not go past any point where there might be discomfort. Now, some of these poses, especially if you're newer, might feel a little bit odd, but never push past pain. Releasing right knee down onto the mat. Now we're going to allow the left leg to press back behind you. Make that connection through all the toes first. That is what's most important. Once you have that, then press the heel back towards the back wall. Stack the heel on top of the toes. Walk the hands just a tad bit forward and maybe roll over your toes and see what that feels like. If there's any cracking, do not worry. Allowing yourself to experience on the left side here now, as always, do note that we tend to favor one side over the other. So if you find that one side is tighter or more difficult, do as much as you can, but do not push past pain. When you're ready, release left knee down onto the mat. Reach the left heel towards the glutes and then press the left heel up towards the sky. Now we want to allow that knee to be in line once again with the hip, not up higher. We don't want to create any back bend just yet. When you're ready, reach the left heel towards the opposite glute as that left knee comes up towards the sky. And we're just going to use momentum as we grace the left knee past the right. And then reach towards our left elbow and up around. find yourself here to create 3 circles. Beautiful. By now, releasing the left knee down to the mat. Allowing those knees to come wide, toes touching at the back of your mat. Press the hips back towards your heels and arms actively reach towards the top of the mat. At this moment or in this pose, you can allow the chin, nose, or brow down on your mat. If your brow is down on your mat, allow yourself to rock from the right side of the temple to the left as we find our very first child's pose of this flow today. Now, child's pose can be experienced in 2 different poses. When the elbows are lifted and the shoulders are engaged back behind you as the chest pushes forward. This is an active child's pose. This pose is a restorative pose, so if at any moment you find yourself short of breath, winded, or just need to bring that heart rate down, then find yourself in this space. There's also the elbows down, which is more of a restorative pose here. This is a modification, and the variation will be with the elbows lifted up. Once you're ready, everybody lift up those elbows. Engage your palms so much so that they become starfish. Find that space. In fact, go ahead and blink your eyes to open, looking towards your fingers, and find that space between each finger. It feels like they're ripping apart with the index facing forward. Now you should be able, like you have a grip of your mat, almost like they're 2 suction caps. With that being said, press your hips forward, knees come back under the hips, tuck your toes, and press your tailbone up and back. Find that distance that works out for you. We should be looking like a mountain, and our tailbone is the mountain peak. So if at any moment you're feeling like you're more of a plank, then go ahead and shorten up your stance. If you're feeling like you're sort of in a forward fold, then go ahead and lengthen up the space. This differs between everybody. Toes can be touching back behind you, or there can be significantly space in between your feet, no more than 6 inches. Go ahead and allow any movement to happen here. Maybe shake, I like to call it wag your tail, but it's completely up to you. Shaking your hips side to side, stepping your heels. Maybe bending your knees generously. And you can also lift your heels to stack on top of the toes, allowing whatever movement works for you here. Shake out your head, let it go. Now we're going to come into our sun salutation. This is a very promised space that I said that we were going to do 2 movements per breath. 1 movement as we inhale and 1 movement as we exhale. Keeping in mind that when we inhale, we gain length, and when we exhale, we gain space. I'll remind you of that a little bit more as we get going, but let's get ready to flow. Finding yourself from a down dog, we're going to travel towards the top of the mat. Heels high, knees low, hovering the mat. Press those hips towards the heels in a turbo dog, looking forward. Where are we going? Here is where you have your options. If you're an advanced student, please feel free to float, jump, and or do any variation. If you're newer to the practice, please simply find your way to tippy toe towards the top of the mat. And find yourself in a forward fold. Inhale, half lift, finding your hands at the top of your shins on the mat, or maybe the top of your thighs. It doesn't matter where, it's just a straight line. So there should be no bend to it whatsoever. Whether you're in a straight line here or a straight line here, they both work just fine. Now we're gonna come into a forward fold. But first, in, find a bend to those knees. Allow the chest to release on top of the thighs. And release the hands, let it go. If this feels uncomfortable, just allowing your hands to drag, then wrap your arms around one another. The tailbone is the highest point in this pose. Allow any movement necessary as we find our ragdoll. Just picture in your mind, you are a doll. And you're being carried right by the hips, allowing your torso to simply just release and gravity take over. Now take your time here. Slowly we're gonna root to rise, finding our mountain pose, stacking each vertebrae on top of another until our shoulders peel open and back as we find mountain. Go ahead. Allow any movement that needs to happen. We gotta stay looking good, right? Once you're in your mountain, we're gonna start with our sun salutation. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Right hand presses into left. Exhale, draw a line through heart center. Let's do that once again. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Find length in your torso. Exhale, draw a line through heart center. Inhale, arms reach up, slight bend to the knees. Exhale, this time palms face away from one another. Find your chest dive forward, hinging at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Getting ready to add chair. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, dip the hips, bend the knees, arms reach forward. We're gonna stay here. Now what I want you to do is to shift your weight onto your heels, maybe so much so that your toes go light. And don't be scared. Dip those hips as you reach forward. Now, the lower body will stay where it is and arms will reach up. Biceps behind the ears. Dip your hips as you exhale. Inhale, look up, reach up, press up, extended mountain. And exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Let's do it again. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, find your chair, hips back, arms reaching forward. Exhale, dip your hips, inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, dip your hips, inhale, arms reach up, find your extended mountain, and exhale, swan dive, forward fold. We're gonna do now 1 breath per second. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, go right into your chair right away. Inhale, root to rise, extended mountain. And exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. We got 3 more. Exhale, chair. Inhale, extended mountain pose. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. 2 more. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, find your chair right away. This time, draw a line through heart center. Inhale, root to rise. And exhale, swan dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, chair. Inhale, root to rise. And exhale, swan dive. Last one before we put it all together. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, find your chair. Inhale, root to rise. And exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, find your chair. Draw a line through heart center. Pause. Dip your hips for 5, 4, 3, 2. Look up. Extended mountain. And exhale, swan dive. Listen carefully. Inhale, half lift. Bend the knees generously. Ground down through your palms. Find your way back however you found it, whether it's stepping back, walking back, jumping back. Let's find plank at the top of your mat. Once you're ready, modifications are knees down, tops of the feet press into the mat. If you're a beginner, this is where we're going to start. Press those hips forward. Make sure we're still in one line. Elbows hug in towards the sides. And exhale slowly all the way down to your mat. Now we want to make sure we zip up our legs. Toes are touching, heels are touching. Everything is so involved that the knee pops off the mat. Take a look at the difference. Once you're ready, low cobra. Inhale, peel those shoulders back. Look up. If you're newer to the practice, I would like you to do this version instead. But we're going to visit all variations. Exhale, forehead to the mat. Let it go, heels fall. Arms fall wide to the side, let it go. One full inhale. And exhale. Zip up your legs, one cobra tail. Let's get started. Hands reach towards the chest, maybe a little bit further back in line with the wrist. Inhale, peel those shoulders up and back. This time, we're going to press our way into, so only our palms and our feet are grounded. Hips are pressing down towards the mat. We can even sway side to side. Now, if you have any pain in your back, in your low back, then go ahead and release those knees and build a muscle while we get to there. From here, press your tailbone up and back, finding your way into your down dog. If your knees were down, then simply find your way through tabletop and back into down dog. Finding any movement or stillness here. We're going to separate it and we're going to come into Surya Namaskar B. Now, do keep in mind that the three-legged dogs are optional. However, everybody is making that effort of pulling the knee in towards the chest to ground it right in between our hands. You'll see what I'm talking about. Let's get started. If you're down in child's pose, go ahead and make your way to down dog. Everybody, down dog. Right leg presses back behind you. Keep those toes engaged. Keep that hip in line with the left. Now, if your right hip is lifting up, just go ahead and frame it down. It's not about length. In fact, you would imagine somebody's pulling your toes back behind you and you gain length in that way rather than lifting the hip. Once you're ready, right knee hugs in towards the chest, round your spine. Flex the heel and step the right foot through in between your hands. Runner's lunge. We're not done. Inhale, lift your chest up off the thigh. Hands reach forward, pressing off your left toes. Find a forward fold. Here comes our Vinyasa. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, chair. Inhale, ridge rise. And swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, ground down through the palms. This time, right leg will press back behind you. Flare your toes and ground them down to the mat. Inhale, lift your chest up off the mat. Engage the core when you do this. Feel free to use blocks in this space if you're still a little bit rocky. When you're ready, ground down through all 10 knuckles. Left leg presses back behind you, three-legged dog. Like I said, three-legged dog is optional, so feel free to find your down dog instead. Everybody will shift forward. For those of you who need a variation, feel free to float your left foot. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, let's find our down dog through all fours or rolling over your toes. 2 breaths here, 1 more. And exhale. Let it go. This time, inhale, left leg presses back behind you. Find that space, find that length. And when you're ready, exhale, hug it in towards the chest. Flex the heel and ground down through the left foot. Inhale, arms reach forward. And as we press off the right toes, we find our forward fold at the top of our mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, find your chair. Inhale, roots rise. And exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, just like we did on the other side. Bend the knees, left leg presses back behind you. Lift the chest up off the thigh, ground through all 10 knuckles. Right leg presses back behind you, three-legged dog. Float it or ground it down, it is up to you. Shifting forward into a plank. Exhale, chaturanga, halfway or all the way. Inhale, up dog or low cobra. Exhale, find your way through down dog, through all fours or rolling over your toes. Find one full breath here, lion's breath. Then inhale, roll onto your toes as you allow your knees to come down. Untuck your toes, forehead to the mat. And arms reach right next to your heels. Embryo pose. You can stay here or you can find your hands to interlace right in between your heels. But wherever you are, allow your chin to remain taut. Shoulders melt towards the ears. Let it go. Now do keep in mind that you can most definitely have a break for water whenever you need to. And in fact, we'll take one together. Once you're ready, if you have a bind, release. Arms sweep up towards the front of the mat once again, grounding down. Once you're ready, inhale, shift forward, finding tabletop. Find a few cat and cows here. And one more. Find your heels, your glutes to rock over to your heels, and feel free to take in some water at this moment. For those of you who are not interested in water, find your way into a down dog, as that is where everybody is gonna go. Well, hello, welcome. If you are just newer here, what's the time? We are just about to get started in our warrior series. Now, how we like to do it is we're gonna add one pose at a time. But we have already determined and solidified what is gonna be our core, our Surya Namaskar beat, which is what we just been doing right now. That is gonna be our transition from a down dog towards the top of the mat. In between, we're gonna find our warriors, warrior one, warrior two, and our humble warrior. Now, feel free, if you are a person that practices often, feel free to add on your back bends, feel free to flip your dog, feel free to add any binds that you are used to doing, as we will get to experience a bind in our humble warrior, as well as feel free to grab a strap or something. If you're not able to, go ahead and interlace both fingers, both palms back behind you. Go ahead and take this time right now to grab a strap, a towel, basically anything that meets the distance. With that being said, let's find our way right into our down dog. Right leg presses back behind you, finding three-legged dog. Remember, this is optional, my friends. Now, right hip stacks on top of the left. Now, if you bend your knee at this moment, go ahead and straighten out your leg. We're just trying to stack the right hip on top of the left. When you're ready, give your opposite glute, the left glute, 3 little kicks. Right leg grows long. Frame the right hip down to the mat. Exhale, hug it into the right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. We're going to cross. Exhale, meet the left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. This time, everybody, hug it in towards your chest. Flex your heel. Ground down through the right foot. Now, here's where we start coming into our variations. Very first, we're going to do crescent lunge. Let me walk you through the variations. Allow the left knee to come down onto the mat. Toes will remain tucked. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Now, this is a variation right here. If you find that this is very easy for you, then go ahead and find your full crescent lunge by allowing yourself to lift that left knee off the mat. Now keep the heels stacked on top of the toes. Keep that front knee bent and biceps right next to the ears. We're going to create cactus arms here, or simply interlace back behind your head, whatever feels good for me. I need some cactus arms. Allow the arms to grace down to the mat. Pressing off our left toes, find a forward fold at the top of your mat. Finding your vinyasa, inhale, half lift. Exhale, let's find our chair. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Let's find a neutral spine. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. Ragdoll. 2 more breaths. 1 more whole breath. And exhale. Inhale, half lift. This time, bend your knees generously. Find the right leg back behind you as we find ourselves in a low lunge. Right knee this time will come down. Toes will stay tucked. Inhale, arms reach up, biceps next to the ears. Now, if your belly is coming up, go ahead and hug it in. Engage the core. Engage the glute. Find that knee to be right on top of the heel. If this is not enough for you, then go ahead and press off that right knee to come into our crescent lunge. 1 full inhale. Last breath, full inhale. Find your cactus arms to match the other side. Arms graze down to the mat. Press off your right toes. Find a forward fold at the top of our mat. Inhale, half lift. Let's find a neutral spine. This time you can interlace your hands, reaching for opposite elbow back behind your knees. When you're ready, inhale, half lift. Bend your knees as you exhale, ground down through the palms, finding your right leg back. This time, left leg presses back behind you. Stack the left hip on top of the right. Keep that left leg straight. Frame the left hip down to the mat. And we're going to find our chaturanga. Exhale. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, find your down dog. Now, at any moment that you'd rather find a child's pose versus a down dog, please feel free to do so, especially if you're newer to the yoga practice. However, if you're a pretty avid yogi, then I encourage you to try and see if you can push that boundary a little bit more. With that being said, child's pose, find your way into a down dog. Right leg, left leg presses back behind you. This is where you're going to get your chance to flip your dog. Right, left hip stacks on top of the right. Bend your knee, reaching for opposite glute. Now at this moment, your left knee is up in the air, but your shoulders are framed down to the mat. So there's this almost spinal rinse happening. Flex your toes. And as you're ready, exhale, hug in the left knee towards the left elbow. Inhale, right, left leg, three-legged dog. Exhale, cross it to your right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog, this time towards the chest. Everybody hug it in. Flex the heel, ground down through the palms. When you're ready, inhale, arms reach up towards the sky, crescent lunge. And exhale, arms melt back down. Now the next time we're going to do this transition without having to ground down our palms, but this is our first time. When you ground down your palms, right heel will release onto the mat in line with the left heel. So it's two heels in one line. When you're ready, bend into that front knee. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. As we find our very first warrior one. Go ahead and allow both hips to frame forward. Bend into that front knee, but do not let that knee go past the toes. Now, make sure your right leg is engaged too and pressing through the outer edge of the right foot. Shoulders peel back, biceps behind the ears. If you are having quite a bit of pain here in the arms, then go ahead and find your hands are heart center, but your spine remains straight. Once you're ready, both hands ground down to the mat. Press off your right toes, find a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, find your chair. Inhale, reach your eyes. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, half lift. Listen carefully. Ground down through your palms. Right leg presses back behind you. Sorry. Already making mistakes. Left leg presses back behind you. Bend into that right front knee. Like I said, crescent lunge first. Inhale, arms reach up. Just one breath. Exhale, arms come down to the mat. Find those hands grounded for support and drop the left heel in line with the right heel. Inhale, bend into that front knee. Arms reach up overhead, biceps behind the ears, or if your hands were at heart center, go ahead and match that expression. Make sure your left leg is engaged and both hips press forward. For 5, 4, 3, final full inhale. And full exhale, both hands ground down to the mat. Lift your right leg off the mat, press it back behind you, three-legged dog. Stack the right hip on top of the left, bend at the knee, and reach for opposite glute. Try and see if you can leave a couple of taps. Try and see if you can get that knee up in the air. And release, right leg down to the mat. Shift forward, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, find your child's pose and or down dog. Take 3 whole breaths here. We're going to find ourselves through warrior 2. Now, we've been taking our time and going through crescent lunge, but we're going to jump right into warrior 1 from crescent lunge. So make sure your core is active and we'll get started right away. One more breath. Full inhale. Full exhale, let it go. Now, once you're ready, and if you're in child's pose, find your way into a down dog. Our down dogs. Right leg presses back behind you, three-legged dog. Right hip stacks on top of the left. Bend at the knee. Flex your toes. And at this moment, if you flip your dog, go ahead and allow the right leg to ground down. Now, once you've twisted here, press your hips up towards the air. Arm reaches up towards the sky. And then reaching towards the front mirror. Take a couple breaths here. Last full inhale. And once you're ready, right hand grounds down to the mat. Everybody tugging the right knee towards the chest. Ground it down. Inhale, arms reach up, crescent lunge. Now this is where I talked about. We're going to spin on our toes and drop the left heel, finding our warrior one. Beautiful. Hands come through heart center. And we're going to go ahead and open up to the left side of the room, reaching both hands towards the front and the back. Tuck your chin towards the right shoulder, bend into that front knee. Find warrior two. When you're ready, release right hand to the right hip or to the low back. Left hand will join. Let's go ahead and interlace all hands back behind you. And if you take humble warrior, then tucking your chin around your spine. Right shoulder comes to the inside of the right knee. Humble warriors, take 2 more breaths. And slowly coming right back up. Inhale, arms reach up. Warrior one. Find warrior two. Bend into that front knee, reach forward. 3, 2. Reverse your warrior for 5, 4, 3, 2. Both hands cartwheel down to the mat. Press off your left leg. Find a forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Right away, let's find our chair. Remember, this is the accumulation of everything. Stay with us. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Bend both knees. Invite the right leg to press back behind you as we bend into our left knee. Inhale, arms reach up, crescent lunge. Then just hinging on our toes, allow the left right heel to come down in line with the left. Once you're ready, find your hands through heart center. We're going to open up to the right side of the room this time, both hands reaching opposite ends of the mat. Now tuck your chin, face forward, bend into that front knee, commit. Full inhale. Full exhale, allow both hands to come towards your low back. Interlace all fingers, peel your shoulders back. Then, very important, tucking your chin around your spine, allowing your left shoulder to come in line with the left knee. Hands hang overhead. One more full inhale. And exhale. Inhale will lift us up. And find warrior one. Find warrior two. Exhale. Bend into that front knee. Reach forward. 3, 2, 1. And find reverse warrior. Both hands cartwheel down to the mat. Press the left leg back behind you. Left leg stacks on top of the right. Bend the knee. Flex your toes and go ahead and flip your dog if you did so on the other side. Hips press up towards the sky, then towards the front, the mirror. Take one full breath. Woo. And exhale, ground down the left palm onto the mat. From here, we're going to go right into chaturanga. Exhale. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Now here's where I want you to have some fun. We're going to jump towards the top of the mat. Try to make it past your hands. Maybe some of us might want to donkey kick. Or some of us might want to take little hops. What are you looking for at this moment? Full inhale and find your way there. Glutes come down to the mat. Allow your legs to grow long. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, forward fold. Release the bind. Slowly allow each vertebrae to come up. Now, hands grounded down to the mat. Soles of the feet grounded down. Find your back, mid-back, upper back. Once your full spine is down onto the mat, invite the right leg up towards the sky, left leg up towards the sky for legs up the wall. You can enjoy legs up the wall or find happy baby as you grab through the inner step of the foot. You can find a spinal rinse as you drop your knees to your right and to your left. Or maybe you'd like to practice cloud. Legs up, knees at the forehead or next to the ears. Wherever you are, find your last movements here. 5, 4, 3, 2. Full inhale. And as you exhale, release all limbs, all areas of your body to the mat. Allow your fingertips to curl up. Allow your eyes to close. Allow yourself to find this space of stillness. You have arrived. Dead man's pose. Allowing all movement to dissipate. Allowing all movement to come to stillness. Allowing your eyelids to grow heavy and relaxed. Releasing any tension in the brow and the jaw. Shoulders peel back and release. Fingertips curl up. Toes fall in or out. And as you allow yourself to bring all your focus to your inhale and to your exhale, full inhale and full exhale. We're going to take our last breath as lion's breath. Full inhale, full belly, let it expand. Imagine you just had a feast. Exhale, wide jaw, stick out your tongue, make it count. Stay where you are and allow yourself to experience the gift of yoga, Dharma, for as long as you need to. My name is Claudia H. Brady, and the soul that resides within me bows down to each and every single one of you. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.